got smacked in the fucking Oscars by this motherfucker. And people like, did it hurt? It still hurts.
The story of Will Smith hits different for two big reasons. First, his public downfall wasn't something most people saw coming, and a lot of fans still argue it spiraled from years of pressure instead of pure ego. Second, I honestly avoided making this video for a long time because people genuinely liked Will Smith for decades. He wasn't just another celebrity floating around Hollywood. He felt untouchable, like one of those rare stars everybody grew up watching and rooting for. Will had this image that worked everywhere. He was funny, smooth, confident, full of energy, and charismatic without trying too hard. He could be cool enough for younger audiences while still staying family-friendly enough for giant studios to push him as a worldwide superstar. Back when movie stars actually guaranteed ticket sales, Will Smith was one of the biggest names alive. His name alone could get a movie approved fast and pack theaters overnight. But then things started falling apart in public, slowly and painfully. What looked like a perfect Hollywood success story turned into a messy chain of box office disappointments, awkward interviews, personal drama, and emotional public moments that had everybody talking. The image that took decades to build suddenly started cracking right in front of the world. Willard Carroll Smith was born in 1968 to a military veteran father and a mother who worked as a school board administrator. Growing up in West Philadelphia, he developed a love for music early on and eventually crossed paths with DJ Jazzy Jeff during a chance meeting at a house party after another performer didn't show up. That random moment changed everything. The two clicked instantly and decided to form a hip-hop group together. Success came fast. Record deals started rolling in, and by the late 1980s, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince were blowing up everywhere. One thing that made Smith stand out was how he avoided profanity in his music, which was rare in rap at the time. According to Will, his grandmother once discovered some of his more edgy lyrics and left him a note saying, "Dear Willard, truly intelligent people do not have to use words like this to express themselves." That message reportedly stuck with him for years. Please show the world that you're as smart as we think you are. That right there was some real wisdom, and honestly, it made a serious impact on Will Smith's image early on. Even after chasing fame, money, and attention, that lesson about carrying yourself with class seemed to stay in the background of everything he did. Still, life wasn't completely smooth behind the scenes. One harsh reality comes with fame fast. Taxes don't care how famous you are, and apparently, young Will Smith learned that lesson the hard way. In 1990, the IRS reportedly hit him with a massive $2.8 million tax bill that nearly wiped him out financially. One minute he was living the rap star dream, the next minute he was scrambling to recover before things completely crashed. That's when fate stepped in at the perfect moment. Enter the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the sitcom loosely inspired by his real-life rap image and personality. And the second Will appeared on screen, it was obvious he had something special. He wasn't forcing it. He wasn't trying too hard. The guy was naturally funny, energetic, charming, and surprisingly strong during emotional scenes too. It felt real, and audiences connected with him instantly. The show exploded into a huge success and lasted 6 seasons. More importantly, it completely changed the direction of his life. Not only did it help solve his money problems, it opened the door to Hollywood in a major way. Will didn't just want to act anymore. He wanted to become the biggest movie star on the planet. Then came Bad Boys in 1995, and things started moving to another level. The film pulled in over $140 million worldwide and kicked off a franchise that's somehow still alive today. After that, Independence Day made him an even bigger name, but Men in Black was the movie that truly launched him into superstar territory. That film earned nearly $600 million globally and turned Will Smith into one of the safest bets in Hollywood overnight. Of course, not every decision aged perfectly. One of the most famous what-if moments in movie history happened when Will passed on playing Neo in The Matrix so he could star in Wild Wild West instead. Looking back now, that choice definitely raised some eyebrows, but during that era, almost nothing could seriously damage his momentum anyway. That's what made Will Smith different from most stars at the time. He could jump between action movies, comedies, sci-fi blockbusters, and emotional dramas without losing his audience. One year he's fighting aliens. The next he's starring in serious films like Ali or The Pursuit of Happiness, both of which earned him Oscar nominations and even more respect as an actor. Even when a movie underperformed, people usually gave him a pass because his public image was unbelievably strong. He came across as talented, funny, humble, family-oriented, and almost impossible to dislike. For years, he avoided major controversy completely and built the kind of reputation most celebrities spend their entire careers trying to create. Will Smith had the perfect balance for years. He was cool enough for younger audiences to look up to, but still polished enough for studios to market him as safe, family-friendly entertainment. That image made him one of Hollywood's most valuable stars for a long time. Ironically though, family would eventually become one of the biggest reasons his public image started falling apart.
So what happened, Jada?
Okay, so let's start with, I guess about 4.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I think it was about 4 years ago. Started a friendship with August. And we actually became really, really good friends. And then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes.
The trouble really started in 2013 with After Earth, a post-apocalyptic sci-fi movie starring Will alongside his son, Jaden Smith. The film clearly looked like a major attempt to pass the torch to the next generation and launched Jaden as a huge movie star, similar to how The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air launched Will years earlier. But things did not go according to plan at all. The movie landed with a thud, critically and commercially. Audiences weren't impressed. Critics tore the script apart, and many people felt Jaden simply wasn't ready to carry a major film role at that level. Suddenly, accusations of Hollywood nepotism started flying everywhere. Viewers began criticizing the idea of powerful celebrity parents trying too hard to manufacture stardom for their kids instead of letting things happen naturally. And honestly, the damage went beyond just one bad movie. For the first time in years, Will Smith's carefully built image started taking serious hits. He no longer looked like the effortlessly cool and relatable superstar everybody rooted for. Instead, more people started seeing him as an aging celebrity trying to hold on to relevance while pushing personal passion projects that audiences weren't connecting with anymore. He kept making movies, but the energy surrounding his career was changing fast. The unstoppable run he enjoyed during the late 90s and 2000s was fading. Some projects still made money, like Aladdin, which somehow crossed the billion-dollar mark despite mixed reactions online. But other films struggled badly. Suicide Squad became one of the most heavily criticized superhero movies of its time. Bright disappeared into the endless pile of forgettable streaming releases. And Gemini Man proved that even two digital versions of Will Smith couldn't recreate his old magic. But the biggest storm was still coming. And this time, it wasn't about movies at all. Attention soon shifted toward his personal life, especially his marriage to Jada Pinkett Smith.
We ride together,
We die together.
Bad marriage for life.
Jada had built her own acting career years earlier, but over time she moved away from major Hollywood roles and became more known for relationship discussions, celebrity interviews, and self-help style conversations online. As their private life became more public, rumors surrounding their marriage started spreading everywhere. For years, people speculated that Will and Jada had an unconventional relationship behind closed doors. Then in 2020, things exploded into public view when singer August Alsina claimed he had been romantically involved with Jada and said the relationship happened with Will's knowledge. The situation instantly became headline news and turned into one of the most talked about celebrity stories on the internet at the time. The media chaos that followed needed serious damage control, but instead of keeping things private, Jada decided to bring Will onto her Red Table talk show and discuss the entire situation publicly in front of millions of viewers. And the internet immediately locked in because people knew this was either going to save their image or completely destroy it. What followed ended up becoming one of the most uncomfortable celebrity interviews people had seen in years. Viewers watched Will sit there visibly emotional while Jada explained the relationship situation using the now famous word entanglement, a term that instantly exploded into memes and online jokes everywhere. The conversation was supposed to feel healing and honest, but for a lot of fans, it came across more like a painfully awkward public therapy session. The internet reaction was brutal. Clips spread across social media non-stop, and people began analyzing every facial expression, every pause, and every uncomfortable moment from Will during the interview. Many viewers felt like he looked emotionally exhausted and completely drained while trying to keep himself composed under massive public pressure. Meanwhile, critics argued that the conversation focused heavily on his reactions while avoiding deeper accountability from everyone involved. What really shocked longtime fans was Will's response throughout the whole situation. Instead of getting defensive or angry, he mostly stayed quiet and tried to present a calm front despite the intense public scrutiny surrounding his marriage. For some people, that made him look mature and controlled. For others, it completely shattered the image they had built of him over the years as the confident, untouchable Hollywood superstar. And that image mattered a lot because Will Smith's career had always depended on likability as much as talent. For decades, he represented charisma, confidence, humor, and the idea of being the perfect family man. But after the interview, public perception started shifting hard. Suddenly, online conversations became filled with jokes, memes, and endless debates about his personal life instead of his movies or accomplishments. By the time the 2022 Oscars arrived, the pressure surrounding him was already huge. Ironically, this should have been one of the greatest nights of his career because he was heavily praised for his performance in King Richard and was expected to win Best Actor. Everything was lined up for a major Hollywood comeback moment. Then came the joke from comedian Chris Rock about Jada's shaved head, and within seconds, the entire atmosphere inside the room changed completely.
I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow.
What happened next instantly became one of the most shocking and talked about moments in live television history, permanently tying Will Smith's name to one unforgettable Oscars controversy. It was supposed to be the greatest night of Will Smith's entire career. After decades of dominating Hollywood, he was finally about to win the Oscar that had escaped him for years. Everything was lined up perfectly for a legendary celebration. Instead, the night turned into one of the most chaotic and unforgettable moments in entertainment history.
Wow, dude.
What people witnessed on that Oscars stage didn't feel like a simple celebrity overreaction. To many viewers, it looked more like years of pressure, public embarrassment, personal struggles, and bottled-up frustration finally exploding all at once. Rather than looking powerful or in control, Will came across like someone emotionally unraveling in front of millions of people watching live around the world. After the Backlash hit, Will immediately shifted into recovery mode. He stepped away from the spotlight for a while and later returned with Emancipation, a serious historical drama clearly aimed at rebuilding respect in Hollywood circles and putting the focus back on his acting ability. But despite the heavy promotion and award season push, the movie failed to make the impact many expected. With fewer major opportunities available, Will eventually returned to familiar territory with the Bad Boys franchise. Ride or Die performed decently at the box office and reminded people he could still carry an action movie when given the right material. But even with that success, something still felt different. The unstoppable energy, confidence, and larger-than-life charisma that defined his peak years just don't hit the same anymore. That's really the biggest change in Will Smith's story. For years, he felt untouchable. His name alone could sell movies, dominate headlines, and guarantee attention worldwide. Now, instead of being viewed as Hollywood's golden superstar, he feels more like a complicated figure trying to rebuild a legacy that took decades to create and only moments to seriously damage. And as for Jada, she leaned further into books, interviews, and public discussions about her life and relationships. She also became attached to projects that sparked heavy online backlash and endless internet debates, keeping the spotlight on the family drama long after people thought things would finally calm down. In the end, Will Smith's downfall might be one of the wildest celebrity collapses in modern Hollywood because for so long, he seemed like the last person anyone expected to crash publicly. His story became a reminder that fame, popularity, and public love can disappear fast when personal struggles start unfolding in front of the entire world. Anyway, that's the full story. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, drop a like, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next deep dive into another insane Hollywood rise and fall. There are plenty more stories coming, and trust me, some of them get even crazier than this one.